morning.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. How you be, B?
How you doing today? Man, I'm good. I'm good. Just relaxing this morning. Got up a little earlier um, than I originally expected, and not more than I expected. Just got up at the right time, and was kind of surprised at how awake I was. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for having a to be getting very used to doing this in the morning. I'm looking forward to it. Um, so welcome everybody. Welcome to this in the season podcast on this 38th day, if I'm not mistaken, 38th consecutive day. So of us
Yeah.
being here every day, every time, same place. This powerful, as you read on the screen, mother and
Mhm.
son duo. I am the lesser of those two. My name is B, aka Brandon the Gladiator Gator, um, and my beautiful mother, powerful mother, the butterfly, sitting over
Yes.
there on the left side of your screen as she dusts the shoulders off, man. I really appreciate you, Mom, for allowing and creating this platform for us to do this and for us to be hopefully a powerful motivator and encourage people to go out there and be successful. Now, if you haven't been with us, we have been reading from Dennis Kimbro's book, Daily Motivations for African American Success. This again is our 38th day in a row. If you haven't gotten the book, please go get that, um, or go back and watch all the videos that we've made so far. We want you to support the author because, of course, it took him time to do this. Contemplation, meditation, probably all types of research upon the distinguished individuals he's used quotes from and things like that. So please support this author, support this book, and go get his other book, Think and Grow Rich: A Black Choice. So without anything else, Mom, how have you been? How's your morning going?
Good, good. I slept a little later, a lot later
Okay.
probably, I guess, than I usually do. I woke up, it's at 6:10. So, but I had, I get everything ready the night before as best I can. And so it was just a matter of getting up, getting my coffee and putting something over my PJs, Brandon, putting something over my PJs. So
It'd be like that
uh,
sometimes.
yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. So I'm doing good. I had a great day. I ended a season yesterday, and I'm beginning a new
Mm,
season. More about that later. And
I was gonna
so,
ask you about that.
yeah, so all went well. So I'm excited about the new season to come in my life. New seasons.
Yeah.
Um, I continue to feel that this is so timely, and I hope that you guys listen and get the book. So it is creating a community. I just we need to have a show after the show, like about with some people that it's already, is seeing the things that are happening in our lives, and we're seeing those things that are happening in their lives. So just a great day, great place, peace, understanding, knowledge, more. And so I'm just in a great place, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So in this season, I'm going to really embrace it and make sure that I continue to grow, because you all know that with every great season, comes a season that you have to endure, what you've
Right.
learned or you have to apply. And so I just want to be ready for every season in my life. I want to trust God when I don't understand, but remain in peace and faith, if that makes sense. So there we are. Let's get going. Let's see
Yeah.
who is in the chat with us, and we can just get at it. Big Mike is in the
Yeah.
chat.
For
Big,
every what up, Mike? What up, Mike? Yeah, I think, like you said, Mom, for every time I feel blessed, I expect the test. Because
ooh,
I don't think there's anything that comes without um, if you receive the benefits of faith, you will also receive the test of faith. I can't think of a spiritual leader, a even a successful person or an impactful person that was without great test. It's almost like the test was as great as the person, and then the person became greater than the test, if that makes sense. The people that really stick out in my mind throughout history were a little greater of God um, than their test. So just get as you said, stay prepared, stay grateful, because the best weapon I think against those tribulations and tests is gratitude. So congratulations, Mom, season, and thank you to everybody that's here, that's joining us from Instagram Live, from YouTube Live, from Facebook Live. If on YouTube, please do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. Like the actual video. Go back and like our other video. Comments on the YouTube. Tell the algorithm that this is the type of content that you want. It's very interesting how social media is. It's like an affirmation, if you know what I mean, like how we do these daily motivations and affirmations. Well, your conduct on these social media actually affirms the algorithms and the content that will come to you. So like this video, this channel, if you love it, if you like it, and you'll receive more things like this, whether it be from us, especially if you subscribe, you'll get a notification, put a video up, or if it's other people that have content that's like this, other channels that have content like this, which we promote because we're you all and us being a growing together, growing through it, not just going through it. So okay, guys, let's jump into it today. This is March the 9th. Congratulations for waking up this morning. Um, didn't, but today you did. So you have an opportunity. And as of right now, our opportunity consists of reading through Kimbro's Daily Motivations for African American Success, which will lead you to the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds to achieve your true goals. 365 powerful motivations for each day. Shows us how to discover how to use our present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and how to look inward for answers to life's challenges. So with us, each one of these daily motivations brings us words of wisdom from distinguished and celebrated African Americans such as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Charlene Hunter, Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every single day of the year, but what it teaches you will last a lifetime. So thank you guys for joining us, and we are going to jump right into today's passage. The passage is titled, Your Right to Be Rich. Again, today's passage is titled, Your Right to Be Rich. And the quote for today, distinguished African American, is from Father Divine, who is an evangelist, and entrepreneur. And Father Divine said, wealth will never come to those who fail to appreciate it. Wealth will never come to those who fail to appreciate it. Interesting. Wealth is not how much you have, remarked basketball great Cheryl Miller, but how much you enjoy it. Again, wealth is not how much you have, how much you enjoy it. No, wealth is not how much you have, but how much you enjoy. Jones thinks along the same lines. He said, you're wealthy when your children love you, your critics respect you, and you have peace of mind. And concert pianist Andre Watts, this idea one step further when he said, prosperity only comes to those who seek it for others first. In the course of life, you may hope to acquire money, but you would be wiser to pursue a valuable gift instead, the riches of peace of mind. The story illustrates this point. A businessman had an angel visit him. During their meeting, the angel granted one request. The man requested a copy of next year's stock market quotes in advance. As he studied the future prices on the New York and American stock exchanges, he boasted of his plans and the increased riches that would be his as a result of his quote unquote insider look into the future. He then glanced across the newspaper page and saw his own picture on the obituary column. Obviously, in the light of his certain death, money was no longer important. We are all aware of the many gifts and pleasures that money, but how many of us realize the priceless treasures that money cannot buy? For example, money can buy a bed, but not sleep, food, but not an appetite, a house, but not a home, books, but not brains, education, but not knowledge, medicine, but not health, pleasure, but not happiness, lust, but not love, a goal, but not time, and seemingly valuable possessions, but not peace.
Mm.
Search for peace.
Hmm.
And the for today that we read three times, one for you, one for me, and one for the person who needs this, that I know out of the compassion of your heart that you're going to send this link to, that you're going to share this podcast with. The quote says, or the affirmation says, reach for the true blessings in life, those things that matter most. Again, I will reach for the true blessings in life, those things that matter most. And last time, I will reach for the true blessings in life, those things that matter most. That's a powerful one. What did you think about that,
Mm.
Mom?
Wow. So here we go again, you guys. Here we go again. Um, Yesterday, while on the way home, ending a season, right? Um, I stopped to Save a Lot, right, on 3rd Street.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in, just because I needed to pick up one item. Um, and it's not normal for me to stop. So, but I did and had to. So I go in and get my item, and I come back to the checkout. And there was two cashiers. One was on the phone, so I'm like, I don't even. But nobody was in her line, and I didn't want to deal with that because I just think that's so unprofessional anyway. So I didn't even want to get myself riled up. So I chose my battles, and I just went to the only one left with people in line. It was two people, but it really was three people because here comes this older man, and he says, "Put your stuff in front of mine." He had a loaf of bread. He said, "Put your stuff in front of mine." And I'm like, how can I do that? To myself, you got your bread, right? Because that's all what was in his hand. But he had put some items, I think maybe three items on the register and had gone back, obviously. And the guy in front of me had his things in his hand. And then was a lady checking out. And I said, finally said, well, where? Because he told me again. I said, well, where are your items? He said, right there. I said, oh, I thought this was this guy's items. He said, no, those are mine, but put yours in front of mine. And I was like, no, that's okay. You got your items on there. You go. He's like, you sure? I said, yeah. So he gets there, and I heard him say the lady, well, he held on to the bread and allowed her to check the other few items out. And he said, I need to make sure I have enough before I add the bread. Right. And so I heard that, and I'm like, okay, I'm prepared because I didn't think twice about it. And that doesn't happen all the time. Like I could hear that from someone else and I'm not moved. My spirit is not moved. So I'm being fed and led by the spirit, you guys, regardless of my emotions, my thoughts and all of that. Right. So, but I already knew that if there was shortage, I was going to make it up. So there was, and he said, well, can you take the bread off? I don't have enough. And this is after he had gone in his pockets trying to find change. And I said, no, don't take it off. Let me get it. And he said, "You're going to get it?" I said, "Yes, let me get it." And he looked at me, he said, "You're going to get it?" And I said, "Yes, I'm going to get it." Like, and I did. And he said, "You've been a blessing today." He said, "This is my dinner." Right. And so it was to the point I wanted to, and this is probably emotions now, because I wanted to, I wanted, he left, but I wanted the money the change that was left over for him to have it. But everything was kind of in the moment and he left. And I was hoping I would go outside and he would be there, because now my understanding is he is now broke. He doesn't have a penny, because he pulled out change and all of this stuff trying to make it count, and it didn't. But the thing here is this: I don't typically stop, and if I do, it's typically not at say
Not
a
on third.
lot, not on right third. And so, and I don't have a problem with her, but my mom, when she heard this, she heard that I was there. It's like I had to just like, okay, bye, But I was in the right place at the right time for the right person. Period. That was it. And so I left there thinking about that, like, because typically I just run right into Kroger's, which is like right near where I was working, and I didn't, and had no plans of stopping. But that's what I mean, you guys. Like, the overflow is sometimes is to help other people flow. Like, if you got more than you need and everything that you possibly want, that you don't need and sometimes don't use, what is it for? If somebody next to me is hungry or is in need, not in want, in need of food, gas to get to work, daycare, you know, or just a lunch or dinner out. Treat someone to a dinner, call them up, "Hey, I want to take you out," that is going through something, right? So I'm thankful for being a servant, being open to being a servant for God. And I want him to continue to bless me in that way, so that the riches upon me serves as purpose when someone is lacking. That's all I want. That's all I need. Besides my food, water, shelter, and the ability to be rich for someone else, for someone else's need, is a beautiful blessing. So over to you, Brandon.
Thanks for sharing that. And how many times are we in the right place at the right time, but we're in the wrong state? And I don't mean that as far as state like Tennessee, New York. I'm not saying like that. I'm saying, but we're in the wrong state of being, meaning we aren't mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or even physically, in some cases, prepared for the test that's before us. Because that might have been a test for you, right? This man offers you something, time, and to save you time, right? Which is one of those things that you can't get back, right? Hey, you go ahead in front of me. You
I
go
didn't
ahead in
think of
front of
that.
me. And you put your items on the register first and check out before me, even though my items are already there. I had to just go back and get some bread because I'm hungry and I need this for my dinner. And so he's trying to save you time, and then you say no, you go ahead, right? And then it's to the point to where he doesn't ask anyone, right? It was offered, so he wasn't beggarly. And if he was, it still would have probably been okay. But he didn't ask anyone. He said, "Okay, well, I don't have enough for the bread." To the woman, "Take that bit off." And then you offered, and he was surprised by that, right? He was surprised by that, showing again that his intention was to provide for himself or to be satisfied with what he had. And so I just see in that exchange, there was an exchange for something that seemed material, like it seemed like it was a material exchange of money, but really what was exchanged was good intention. What was exchanged was um, um, invaluable, intangible things. There was a a a sense of community that I think
Mhm. Mhm.
was forged and entrusted in that moment, in that action. And you may never see that man again, but I'm sure that that man will remember you, and he can see you in his mind's eye, and you can see him even now. And little does he know that possibly hundreds, maybe thousands, who knows how many views this will get, will see and hear and know this story and be changed by it.
Mhm.
And he
Mhm.
may be blessed for that and the good things that they do from it, and you may be blessed from that, from the good things that you do from it, and just from the fact that you've shared this and all the things that they do, that, the people that hear this. So I think that's not something that you can put a value on. That's not something, that's something that has value, but something that you can't put a price on.
Mhm.
So what you both got out of that was more than what you saw physically. But what you saw physically was just, a small exchange, but a greater reverberation of that and a greater value of that was exchanged spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and even
Yeah.
physically. The elation of your own heart at the time, your own um, release of dopamine or serotonin, which are, your neurotransmitters that make you feel good, right? It feels good to be charitable. If you're more full when you eat and you share, and you're more sustained than if you just keep it to yourself. So the things that you gained in that were more to the likening of peace of mind and being charitable. So you weren't seeking to be
Oh,
tight
wow.
fisted. You weren't tight fisted. You let it go. And then I think it's in the giving up of the things that we hold on so much to that really allows us to receive. It's very hard to receive with a hand that's like this, tight fisted. How can you get a blessing with your hands like this? Have you ever seen somebody when people yell out to God, they do this? Their hands are open. It's a physical reality that has a metaphysical impact, or it's a physical action that has a metaphysical impact and reality. And so when you did that, you sacrificed something in this life for a reward potentially in the hereafter. So I just see that as a great metaphor for what we just read, where it's, you would be wiser to pursue, and you were wiser to pursue a more valuable gift, which was the riches of peace of mind. The riches of peace of mind. So, again, money can buy a bed, but not sleep. How powerful is that? Food, but not an appetite. A house, but not a home. Books, but not brains. Education, but not knowledge. Medicine, but not health. Pleasure, but not happiness. Lust, but not love. A gold watch, but not time. So these valuable possessions, but they're not peace and not peace of mind. So search for that. Um, so I think that was a beautiful way, a beautiful segue
Whew.
into your story. So thanks for doing that, because you know what, Mom, we all benefit. We all benefit. Like a like the quote from Dr. King that says that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, right? And I think, love or compassion anywhere is a encouragement for love everywhere.
Mhm.
So love, be compassionate. You're not going to miss a meal for that, but you might have changed his life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might have changed how he felt that day, how you felt that day. You might have saved yourself from an argument later on. You might have saved him from, who knows, an untimely death or something like that. You never know places, the
Mm.
spaces that you're in for what you're being used for. So remember that if you are a compassionate, a believing, a faithful person, you should look for those opportunities. And I think sometimes we just have a natural inclination, like in that situation. I think it was just a natural to you, like you said. You didn't think it was your nature. You know, it was your nature. Now I want to add one more level to that. Doing good for goodness sake is great. It's great. It really is. There are so many blessings in it. But even greater, I think, it's just my opinion. Even greater is if you do that with the intention to please God, to please your creator. Like, I'll promise you, there's something so powerful in, like, when we feed our chickens here at home, we say Bismillah, or in the name of God. You know, or when we do something, like purifying your intention before you do it. And by purifying, make it for the purest thing that you can. And we may think like, oh, the purest thing that I can think of is, you know, I'm doing it because they need it. Right. And that's good. That really is good. That is pure. But I'm saying that you can even purify that even more, because sometimes, whether we consciously do it or not, sometimes we do good for thoughts of what we might receive back. Right. Like, even if it's the feeling that we get for doing it. Right. Like, yeah, I was charitable. I'm a philanthropist. Right. It's so easy to get lost in even our good deeds. Right. I promise you, the road to hell with good intentions. Right. So there's good intentions, but what's more is purifying those, so that it's those good intentions set you on the right path. Right. And I think that right path, the most right path, isn't self-righteousness, but righteousness itself. And beyond that, for the pleasure of your creator. Because really, that man was depending on God to sustain him, or something higher than himself. Right? Oh, I'm okay. Just take that off. You know, he could have succumbed to his vices and to his desires and just said, or, you know, and just, you know, snuck that bread and walked out on the other side of the aisle where the woman was talking on the phone and slipped past. He could have done something like that, but he didn't. He said, no, this is what God has provided for me today. But like the bird that wakes up every single morning without pockets and just goes to the ground and somehow finds sustenance, likewise does God provide for us and for this man through you. You know, now the you may not realize that piece of food that you just lightly threw away, you know, a piece of bread that you threw out of the car, you know, that fell on the floor, the biscuit, Popeye's biscuit, whatever it is that fell on the floor, and you just threw it out, you know, like, I'm gonna get this out of my car. That was sustenance for another animal, or for something else. Now imagine this. You might not get any blessings for that. Now imagine that same piece of bread fell on the floor, that same piece of biscuit fell on the floor, and you picked it up and you said, I'm probably just gonna throw this away. Well, God willing, it'll feed an animal, and you throw it out. Or God willing, this will please God. This will be some food else. That intention alone gives you access to the blessings and the benefits from feeding something. We always think that our blessings come from, you know, good deeds that we do involving just people or just this, but I promise you, be good to creation, and the creator will be good to you. You know, we are stewards of this earth, caretakers. You know, we've been appointed to a position of management, right? And so what are we doing with that? Are we getting lost in ourselves, or are we actually doing that? So I think you have the right to be rich. You have that right to be rich just by your creation, just by the fact that you have a choice to do good or a choice to do evil. So make the right choice and do good, not even just for goodness sake, but for the sake of pleasing your creator. And watch how that changes. Like, watch how that changes your experience. You know what I mean? And stay prepared for the test. I think and this is a whole nother subject, but I think every man, if you have a family, every man should be physically in shape. Not for themselves, not to look good, not to show off their muscles and their pecs, but they may have to carry a burden a woman can't. They might have to save a life. They might have to run into that building. They might have to defend. They might have to protect. They might have to build. We have been given extra strength, more strength than our sisters in humanity, but we're not prepared in certain cases to give that. So you can be intentional even from the building of yourself for the pleasure of God, for the good use of humanity. And I think a lot of are losing the benefits of true wealth and peace of mind because we're searching for nihilistic, insatiable desires that can never be filled. So you have the right to be rich. Every time you feel blessed, expect the test. Because what you do, yesterday was your last day, Mom. That was your last day on one part of your season, and you're going to a greater opportunity, right? You're going from one place of what God has allowed you to provide for yourself to another place where He's allowed you to provide even more or He's provided even more for you. And so you got blessed, and then on the way home, something happened that was unexpected. That was unexpected.
And
You
Brandon,
were tested in that space. That was the test.
if I might, before I know you have to go. Okay, y'all, I'm really gonna try to do this without crying. Okay. So it says, wealth will never come. Okay, it's about the appreciation. I can't read it. I really felt blessed to be able to be a blessing to the gentleman yesterday. I felt like it was my duty. I felt like this is why God has blessed me so that I can bless people. And as I'm sitting here and I see it says about it will never come to those who don't appreciate it. And so when I got it after you were talking and I read it again, I'm like, I really did appreciate it. But there was a time in my life where, and I've had these stories. I have so many more of these, and I really was reminded of the lady who I was on my lunch break, and that was a time where I didn't have it to bless people. I needed what I had, right? To bless myself and my family and you, right? And I remember leaving work, going to the bookstore, and the lady was sitting, and if you've been walking with us, you've heard this story before, but I'm on one side of the street, and the lady's on the far side sitting at a bus stop. I clearly heard God's voice, and I wasn't where I am now nearly, but I clearly heard God's voice said, go give her some money. And I'm thinking, I don't even have a lot of money for myself. I'm thinking, and y'all, to be quick about it, I turned around and I passed this lady, I think 2-3 times within passing. I kept passing, turn around because I didn't want to do it, right? So finally, and God was not going to have me not do it. So finally, I turned into a Chick-fil-A, which is, I had to turn into the Chick-fil-A to get to her because of the way the bus stop was and where she was. And, Chick-fil-A has those funny, they're everywhere. They're kind of funny as for where they're located. And so even then, with the little money I had, I decided, because I didn't want to do it, I'm just going to go to Chick-fil-A. I'm just going to go get in the line and get something. I'm not going to give this lady money, right? So I bought a Happy Meal because, again, remember, I didn't have a lot anyway.
The little kids meal?
Yeah. kids meal. I said Happy Meal. Kids, it's a Happy Meal, right, for kids. And so I had not planned on going to lunch or getting anything anyway, because again, it was tight, right? Money was tight then. I got the meal and I had a few dollars left, right? And I could not leave Chick-fil-A. God would not let my car leave Chick-fil-A. I felt like he was like, no, you're going to go do this. And you know how Chick-fil-A is. So I'm in the line to turn out and I had to back up. So because I could not leave, something was all over me. So when I went to back up, nobody was behind me. Thank God. God did that. So I was able to back up and park. And then I have to get out of my car and walk to where she was because, again, just the way the street was and where the bus stop was. And I'm walking up, and by the time I'm walking up, I'm crying, right? I'm all emotional because I don't want to do this, but I'm being forced to do it. The ladies don't think I'm crazy. I got all these things going on in my mind. And I get there, and people are walking because this is a business place. So they're walking to Chick-fil-A. So I'm going this way. People are walking. They see me crying. She sees me coming. And it's as if she said, that's her. It was as if her look was like, that's her. And I get up there and I said, ma'am, please forgive me, but I have to give you this. And she said, I know. She said, I'm a missionary. And God, I left and I didn't have the money to get home. God told me to sit here and he would get it to me. And so here I am again yesterday. I feel like God is continuing to use me. And I'm thankful that I'm open to be a servant, whether I have a little or a lot. I really want to be pleasing to God and be able to be a blessing to people who are in need, not want. And then every now and then, God, let me be able to give them what they want because we all deserve, right? And I'm just challenging you guys to be open. And I think about Mary as I studied with my son, who is of Muslim faith, who I studied at the mosque about Jesus just Thursday, where I learned that Jesus is mentioned so many times in what he reads, and that he is as important to them as he is me and you. But because of lack of knowledge, we don't know that. I learned more about Jesus and Jesus' mom at the mosque than I did when I was going every Sunday to church. How about people? How about that? So if we would just take the hat off, as your friend mentions, take the you hat off. I didn't even call it a Trump hat. Take the ego hat off. Be a blessing. Stop making everything about you and trust God with $1 as you would with $10 million. While I might not understand God, I trust you. Arlene Edwards, your grandma, during a difficult time, one of the most difficult times of my life, she said, Ellen, while I don't understand, I trust you. So if you got $1, go to the grocery store. While I don't understand God, I'm going to the grocery store with this $1. You can't buy anything in the grocery store with $1 anymore. Nothing that I know of. Go anyway. Go like you got 10 million and God will take care of you just like he took care of that guy. Do the same with your emotions and your feelings. There's so many more of these stories. I don't know much time, but Brandon, I thought about you in 6th grade and the man, 5th grade, I guess, the man at Popeyes. Yeah. We fed him that night. And he took that money and he said, Lord, have mercy. He had his buggy, his hair was matted, beard, homeless. But he looked at us. That meant he knew a God. He knew the same God that I knew. And he trusted him in spite of his situation. He said, Lord, have mercy on the people who were giving him as he stood there homeless. The next week, I got a full check from a job that I had left maybe 2 years prior.
Mm.
I got paid once a month working for the school system in North Carolina. After blessing that man with the little that we had, got a check in the mail, a 4-month check. They said you never cashed your check in some year, I don't know. And how did I go a full month without cashing a check, getting paid once a month? But God, but God.
And
So if
I
you
remember. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was because I know we got to close. If you have an overflow, help somebody else flow, right? Get out of your way. Because sometimes your blessings may stop because you stop blessing, not just with money, with your time, with your prayers, all of that. So I'm gonna stop because I know you got to get off, Brandon.
Okay. I appreciate that. I can be here as long as we need. And I remember that day at Popeyes, and I remember that man. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that was like my allowance money or my birthday money or something.
So if you got time, I'd love to tell the story.
Yeah, yeah, I got.
So we had just come
I got.
from visiting my grandmother, Brandon's great grandmother. We had just come from Valdosta, um, and it was a Sunday evening. Stopped into Popeyes, back into Florida. We stopped at Popeyes, and I ordered food. And I said, Brandon, you wait for the food. I'm going to run to the restroom. So we're getting off the road. And so I come out, and as I come out, Brandon's leaving, but he's crying. And so, you know how we are. I'm thinking, I'm just gonna be real with y'all. This helper done said something to my baby. That's what I thought. Like, and it's been to be on. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. That the cashier, I thought they had did something. So I'm like, okay. So, but and I asked him, Brandon, and I asked Brandon, what's going on? And he just kept walking by me crying. And I look up and I see the guy. And I knew Brandon has always been passionate about people. Um, and his heart about people is just beautiful. So I knew when I saw the homeless guy, that's what was wrong with Brandon. And so I said, I got Brandon. I said, you go on and no, no. I got the food and I go out and Brandon to where Brandon was because he kept going out. And I said, what's going on? And he said, the guy ordered food and he needed, I think, like 40 something cent, very little, to complete the meal. And she wouldn't give it to him. That she wouldn't just give him the meal. And so I said, Brandon, I only have a little because we had spent the money on the food. I only have a little. Do you want me to give it to him? And he said, yes. If you give it to him, I'll give it back to you out of my allowance when we get home. His allowance was at home because he would always spend my money, keep his allowance, right? Just had to throw that in. But yeah, his money was at home. And so I said, okay, so we backed out. And we were pulling to go out of Popeyes, and the guy was pushing his basket. So we were able to meet him right on the sidewalk where he would have needed to cross as we were going out. And he was on Brandon's side, and I rolled the window down. And I said, sir, this is all I have, but if you want it, it's yours. You can take it. And he reached in the car and he grabbed it and he looked at us. And it was a look that I have never forgotten. And that's when he took the money. He said, Lord, have mercy. Right. And it was just something about it. So he goes on, we go on, he goes on. And that Wednesday, that was a Sunday. That Wednesday is when I went to the mailbox and I got the check. These people are saying that I didn't, again, cash my check in North Carolina. I'm now in Florida, years later, that you never cashed your check. And I know I did not have it to go a whole nother month without a paycheck because we were paid monthly. And so again, I found myself going to work that day just in fullness, in awe, but still wasn't where I was yesterday. Meaning I I appreciate the ability to be a blessing.
Mm.
I'm thankful for people may in my, even where I am now, people be like, that's not wealthy. You're not wealthy. You know, I don't make six figures. I'm on my way. So I'll be better blessing. But it's just a blessing that God has chosen me through these years. And I'm getting it now. Like if I could go back down memory lane and see the number of people that people don't know about that I've blessed. But guess what? Just thought about this. God has allowed people to pour in my life the same way. I remember and I'll stop here, the family that lived next to us in North Carolina. I can't think of the name. Father, mother, and two sons just lived across the way from us. And I did not have a lot. Like I wasn't working. I was looking for work. It was just hard times. And I never forget this mom who didn't really know me. We just had met because we were neighbors. And she came over and knocked on the door. Oh man, I just thought about another one. And she said, my son, I went to give my son his allowance, and he said, Mom, take that and take Miss Tammy out to lunch.
Mm.
Gosh, I wish I could remember their name. And it's just beautiful. So if you take care of God's people, if you take care of you, right? And if you take care of God's people, if you go in the store that you're not supposed to be in, bless the person that he sent there to be blessed just to get a meal, and appreciate God allowing you to be that. God will take care of you. He will take care of you, even if it's down to the last hour, the last second, the last minute. Because sometimes he wants to get you there. Like Brandon said, every time I feel blessed, I expect a test.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be getting tests every second because I'm feeling so blessed. And I want to pass that test every second. If nothing but with these words, God, while I might not understand, I trust just where you have me. Even if it's down on my knees crying to you, where are you? I still want to trust you in my heart, in my spirit, in my soul. No matter what has happened to you, the people you love, no matter how you've been tested, use those words. While I might not understand, God, I trust you. Turn it over to you, Brandon.
Man, thank you, Mama, for sharing all of that. You reminded me of two things. One, in the Quran, it says, "Who will give Allah, or God? Who will give Allah a beautiful loan, and it will be multiplied. It will be multiplied. Not just a loan, a beautiful loan. Like, how can we loan something to God who created everything? But it says, who will give Allah a beautiful loan, and it be multiplied? So, like, beautifying the way that, and the etiquettes and the character and the spirit that we do these deeds with. Beautify it with the spirit of the word of God, the spirit of charity. And it'll be multiplied. And so I appreciate all those stories, and I remember that those instances, and just I'm grateful to have lived it and to have been there and to have seen it. I also want to say something too. You mentioned about doing, even if it's the last hour. There's a hadith from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that says, it's the sayings of the Prophet, and it said that even if it's the last hour, even if it's Judgment Day, and the earth, shake, it's Judgment Day. God's coming to see and to judge. Even if it's the last hour and you have a sapling or a little baby tree, plant it. If it's hour, plant it. Just a deed, just that small. You know what I mean? And do you know that if you plant a tree and you die, every time that tree provides shade, you get a deed, a good deed, even though you're in the grave. Every time that tree provides shelter for an animal, you get a good deed. Every time it provides fruit for a person, for a man, you get a good deed. So imagine if you were planting trees everywhere, planting seeds everywhere, whether they be spiritual or physical. And what comes of those, the blessings that reverberate from you being compassionate, continue to bless you even as you wait for judgment in the grave. So, and also, little bro, Kurosaki.con. I'm just reading over here, man. Thank you so much for show again on Instagram Live. He said that he took his shahada. He took his shahada yesterday. Congratulations, Allahu Akbar, to you, brother. He said, and a lot of what you're saying makes sense. So what shahada means is he took the testimony of faith that there is no God but the one God. La ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of God. So he basically has become Muslim and taken a plea of worshiping only one God, the creator of the heavens and the earth. Jesus, the God of Moses, the God of Abraham. He has taken that plea of faith, and he just let us know right here. And he's also saying that that he described when he was working at Amazon for $900 a week, and he would withdraw that money at Marathon every Thursday, and he'd see a homeless man, and every time living by his basket, about 2 years ago, he would give him 3 tens out of that money. And so, man, he'll never forget the man's face. He was shocked and would say, "God bless you." So, like, man, to me, those are the people that are blessed, and we are the ones that need their words. I remember watching videos of a mother in Gaza as her children were being bombed and killed. I think she had lost some members of her family, and she said, "Don't pray for us. Pray for yourselves. We are good. We are good." Because even though they didn't have anything, they didn't even have a home. But she's saying, pray for yourselves, for the people who are complicit in this genocide, for the people who sit and eat with their bellies full as my children starve. Pray for yourselves. So sometimes those people, after we give them those 3 tens, after we give them the money that they need to get Popeyes, after we give them the money so that they can go onto the bus that day, after they are in much greater need than they say, "God bless you." They say, "Oh Lord, have mercy." What they just gave us is more valuable than what we gave them. So don't ever think that you're on the best side of that, or you're on the worst side of that you're giving up something. You are on the better side of that. You're the one receiving the blessings. You're the one that needs it. You're the person that needed it. That's why you couldn't move, Mom, because you were fighting yourself in the moment at LA.
Yeah.
You were fighting your desires, your nafs, your self-serving, your self-righteousness. That's what you were fighting. That's what you were overcoming. And that's why it was a struggle, because it was in a battle. It was an internal spiritual battle. And it's irrational, but your heart knows. That's why you were emotional and crying, because you knew as you walked towards her that you won that battle, that you passed that test. And the confirmation was the look in her eye, because she recognized you, never seen you.
She expected
May
me.
you all.
She was
She
expecting me
expected you.
because God had told her to sit there. I will get you home. So she had faith. She probably
Yeah.
didn't even have to say, "Well, I don't understand. I trust you." She sat there like, somebody's coming. I know it.
And may you
That's the book
both.
that she gave me.
And may you both be reunited and tell this story to a greater audience than what we even have here in heaven. May you all be reunited in heaven, in paradise, and tell this to a greater audience than what we have here now. I love you so much, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for this moment. I appreciate the fact that it's filmed, and I pray that it will save the hearts of people. I pray. So thank y'all so much. We gonna get out. We got a comment. What up? What up, Rudy? We
Yeah, I
got a comment.
did.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um,
Hi.
oh
Yeah, I
man,
want
it's
to read through
beautiful.
them real quick. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Mike says, "Good morning." Our aunt Vivian Cody, powerful. I'm so proud of just you and seeing you accomplish things that, man, the world says that you shouldn't be able to, right? So thank you just for being I'm gonna put hers out here too. And I'm gonna hurry, Brandon, because I don't want yours to close. That's our Aunt Vivian. She says, "Good morning, fam." And just sitting watching her do the thing is
Oh yeah,
inspiring. Is
city
inspiring. So
councilwoman auntie, city
thank
councilwoman
you.
auntie.
Yeah. And some more, right? So
Yeah.
Brandon, I don't know that she went back to college and graduated and all that. Did you know that? I forgot to
No,
tell
auntie,
you
my
that.
great auntie,
Yes. She's
my
she's
great great auntie.
doesn't
No, wait, that's my great
wait,
great auntie.
I don't know. She's
Yeah,
great. How about
that's my
that?
great great auntie. Wow,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
auntie. I
So
love you.
y'all, there you go right there. Like, hey, that's another testimony. Um, and another Valdostian, Beatrice, Brandon, I don't think you know Beatrice. So thank Valdosta is in the house this morning. And
Hey,
then my
hey,
sister-in-law, Miss Glow Hall, uh, Glow Goes, or how do I say that? I can't remember. And then this is
love glow.
yeah, Stacy Caroline, who I've not heard from in so long.
Good to see you,
Congratulations
girl.
on your
Appreciate.
marriage and becoming a mom.
Yes,
Mm,
congratulations. Wow.
yes, and Dylan family as well. Good morning, y'all. Hope to see y'all the weekend of the 16th. Hit us up. We will make it happen. Thank you for listening. So thank you guys. All of you mean, oh gosh, so much to us, and especially with your support early this Saturday morning. So Brandon, over to you so that we don't get you
Go over the
kicked off
time.
on Instagram, right?
All right, y'all. It's been a beautiful show. Thank you for rocking with us. We're here same time, same place, every single day. Today's passage was titled "Your Right to Be Rich." And our quote was from Father Divine, an evangelist and entrepreneur, who said, "Wealth will never come to those who appreciate it." I think we've appreciated and been grateful a lot today, guys. Please continue this spirit on with the rest of your day. And the quote, or the affirmation, the affirmation that we read at the end of the passage, at the end of the show, we read it 3 times. One for me, one for you, and one for the person that needs this, that you're going to send this to, is, "I will reach for the true blessings in life, those things that matter most." I reach for the true blessings in life, those things that matter most. And last time, say it with all your being, whether it's internal, external. I will reach for the true blessings of life, those things that matter most. Thank y'all so much for being here. Please come back tomorrow for day 39 as we read our passage from the book.
Get the book. Did we lose Brandon? Daily Motivations for African American Success. Y'all get the book. Get the book. Be great. I think we're losing Brandon. So thank you guys for rocking with us. We'll be back same time tomorrow. So get the book, join us, and share the video. Be blessed.